Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of PitchUs. My name's Tim Cooley, the author of the Pitch Deck book. I'm excited to be joined by Katie Dunn from Power to Pitch. Katie, please introduce yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me on, Tim, again. My name is Katie Dunn. I'm a partner in Power to Pitch, and we help pre-seed to seed founders with their pitch deck, and then we make introductions to them to investors.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Katie was on our show before, her and her partner, Kat, and so we're glad to have you guys back. Always welcome here. So just a real quick, why we put this together. We've seen hundreds, maybe thousands of pitches, and we know that a lot of people actually need help on the process of pitching. Many times things aren't there. And so this is the reason why we put this podcast together in the first place. We are excited to be joined today by Sharon. Sharon, please share your screen with us and then pitch us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for inviting me on. It's nice to meet both of you. My name is Sharon St. John. I am the founder of Easy Sign Delivery. And before we start talking about Easy Sign Delivery, I want to tell you a little bit about my backstory. So in my daytime role, I am a broker, real estate agent out of Los Angeles. I started in real estate in 2016, and I was a buyer's agent. So that means I was hosting a lot of open houses. And if you know anything about the Los Angeles market, we were selling $4 to $7 million homes in the West Side. And me as the buyer agent, I'm dressed up all fancy with my heels on and everything. And before the open house, I go out to the corner of Wilshire and San Vicente or wherever, and I'm putting out these clunky signs. And, you know, like clients are driving by in their fancy cars, and it was just horrible. So I was looking for a service to put out the signs for me, and I couldn't find any. So I would literally post on Craigslist for a driver to deliver my signs for me. And then at one point I posted the opposite, that we were a service for realtors, just to see if I would get any bites. And we did get some bites. So that was like how we came up, or how Easy Sign Delivery was born. Essentially, there's a gap in the marketplace, and we are here to solve it. We provide convenient, very affordable open house sign delivery for realtors here in Los Angeles. So let's jump into it. See if I can make this go. Can you still see my screen? Mm-hmm. Okay. So our business model is based on subscriptions. It's a monthly subscription for us to store your open house signs with us. If you decide to store your signs with us, then it makes the sign deliveries when you have an open house a little bit more affordable. The pricing is based on how many signs, and we do offer volume discounts and things like that. We're able to add flags or little riders to the signs. We can customize, we can print, we could do whatever. All of this, it's a la carte pricing. And our goal is to expand this into different market centers across the US. Okay, so our competitive advantage is based on three things. One, we're priced differently. And in doing my competitive analysis, I was able to find one other company that provides the service, and then two other people, literally a person called the Sign Guy and then the Sign Chica. Those are our competitors right now in Los Angeles. But their pricing is totally different. It's a flat rate, whether you have 20 signs or you have 5 signs, it's the same price. So our pricing is definitely more unique. And it's much more affordable for the agents who are small scale. And it even allows for larger brokerages to take advantage of the quantity discounts that we offer. We offer unique features. So all of our customers just order online, which is super convenient for them. We send them a Google map with where we're planning to place the signs, and they can customize it however they want. We also are hyper focused on the west side of Los Angeles. So we know the regulations that differ between Beverly Hills and Santa Monica with regards to the signs. And our drivers take a photo of every sign that's placed out and upload it to the customer like Google Drive folder so that the customers can see that we did what we said we were going to do and there's no issues with the orders. And I think the thing that makes us the most different than our other competitors is if you call us or text the business line, someone will respond. And we've even had super last minute orders come in and we were able to service them. So our target client are either individual agents that are doing open houses. And in Los Angeles, there's 40,000 licensed agents. This is according to the real estate board in Los Angeles. And then we're also targeting like B2B, the brokerages. There's 200 brokerage firms just on the west side of LA, and those are our two main targets. And the pricing system that we have allows for us to cater to both audiences. We did a little bit of research from our customers, our current customers, and yes, the convenience, getting rid of the signs because they normally just store them in their garage or something like that. It's super great. Well, it's affordable and it's super convenient. Let's see. Our target market, and we're basing our target market off of home sales, because if you're listing your house for sale, you at least have one open house for that home sale. So if we're looking at the service area that we operate in right now, there were 10,000 home sales last year. Currently, there are 1,100 homes that are for sale, and we're averaging for the past 2 months about 200 open houses each weekend. So this is our target market. We're hoping to tap into the 200 open houses that are happening each year or each week, and then eventually expand this into the greater real estate market across the country. So let's talk about traction, what we've done so far. The website that we're currently using it's beta form, if you will. It's a Squarespace site with some Google Forms set up, but we've already seen significant traction. This purple line represents what happened our first year of operation, which was it does take into account that during COVID, there were absolutely no open houses happening. So for a period of time, there was zero business activity. But this represents when we launched, when we picked back up after COVID here. And then this is our sales traction for this year. Okay, and let's talk about revenue. So this is based per quarter. Our revenue has been growing since this time last year. The orange represents the income that we're receiving off of the subscriptions when people choose to store their signs with us. And then on top of that is the delivery services. So not every week does a client have an open house, but they are still storing their signs with us. So our base revenue is the subscriptions, and then the services is what's on top. We just broke $10,000 worth of quarterly revenue. I'm very excited about that. We're actually growing 20% per month. So this is very exciting. What are we planning to do in the future? We worked with some UX designers to come up with a site prototype that would kind of piece together all the aspects of what me, the founder, I'm currently doing, and I'm running out of hours in the day because we're getting more and more business. So we wanted to build a fully functioning website to automate the map making, to invoice the customers, and then to send out the delivery routes to the drivers. We want to automate that process. We're looking to hire an admin, someone who can focus half on scheduling, coordinating the routes with the drivers, and half on business development, so that I would have more time to do some of the business development as well. We're looking to purchase a company vehicle instead. As it is right now, the drivers use their own vehicles, sort of like an Uber thing. They just put the signs in their trunk and deliver. And then we want to move into an office and kind of establish a full presence in Los Angeles, and hopefully replicate this whole process in a new market. So Orange County, San Diego, San Francisco, Vegas, all these other markets where these services would be needed. Currently, we are fundraising. I would call this like a seed round. The goal is 50,000, and majority of it would be going to building our website. Let's talk a little bit about allocation of funds. This is the website prototype that was built out. As I mentioned, it would explain the process. It would clearly outline the pricing. Would also give the customers the ability to log in and make edits to the routes automatically. As it is now, they'll message me or email back and I'll make updates, but hopefully we'll get it so that they can just log in and make the edits on their own, change the direction of the sign, add printing options, whatever they need. The rest of the funding would go to that salary. We're just asking for, a 3-month runway for a part-time employee, some of the operational items that we need, like tape or sign holders or cleaning supplies. Also marketing. As it is right now, all of the traction we've gotten is based on word of mouth. We are not paying for Instagram or Google ads, anything like that. This is all word of mouth. And so I expect to see a significant impact if we add some dollars behind our marketing. And then we were just allocating $10,000 for a company truck, some of the fuel expenses, and then insurance. This is our team. As I mentioned, I have a background in real estate. I understand very clearly the needs for this service. We've been working with Henrique. He's been our longest employee. He's been working with us for over 6 months now, and he manages the drivers and a lot of the operations with the storage site and organizing all the signs, the inventory that we currently have in storage. And V came on recently. She's kind of heading up the business development side of things. So she represents us to the Board of Realtors here in Los Angeles. And she's kind of the face-to-face interaction going around to different offices and dropping off flyers, things like that. The salary that we're looking at would be to bring V on at a more permanent position. Yeah, so that's Easy Sign Delivery. And I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback.
Awesome. Great job. Sharon, thank you so much for sharing that with us. As always, we like to start off with things that we really liked. Katie, please, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. I really like the look and feel of the deck. Like, I think you have great graphics overall. And I think that things are very clear. There's not too many words on every slide, which is something we often see. So very good job with that. I really liked how you told your story up front. That is everything. That is always what we look for. Get the emotional connection with the investor. Why are you the right person? Establish the story, the emotion behind why you came up with your business and why you're the right person to run this business. So great job with that. I also thought your competition slide was good and your traction slide was really good. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll put it over to you, Tim, for other things.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree, and I'm going to echo, really, your background starting it off that way is one of my favorite things to see. I can't explain that enough to people. Like, just tell me who you are and why you're doing this. It gets me right into listening to how you're going to solve this problem, that kind of thing. I love the way that you presented your revenue slide in the stacked bar chart. You have 2 revenue models, and I love seeing those things stacked on each other. It's really easy for us to follow along and know where that revenue is coming from. So great job there. And I'm going to echo with, I think you have all the elements here. I think we can help you merge some things and clean some things up. But I love how you got into the market of where you're launching. Very detailed numbers, not that difficult to find, but I like that you brought them out. And so just great job there. And again, I'm just going to re-echo the background getting us into it was awesome. So thanks for starting off that way. And so now let's find some areas that we think you can improve. Katie, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. Okay. So there were a couple times when you skipped or were short on time on certain slides. Like the first slide we didn't even see after your intro slide. So I don't know if you noticed that, but we skipped over that. And then the one of the slides when you were talking about the use of funds, you went through really quickly and moved on to other things. I would probably combine some of your roadmap and your use of funds into one thing and just stay on the slide and talk about it all together. The other thing, you lucked out, but you had movement on slides and it worked. I caution everybody, don't do that. Just don't.
Okay.
It too often it doesn't work, and it comes across as either distracting or it throws you off your game if it doesn't work. So what I would suggest is if you want to do some screenshots, that's fine, but offer to do a demo after, rather than showing the movement and it right in the slide.
Katie, real quick, let me echo or let me add to that. You had two moving elements at the same time. So sometimes you did an animated GIF. If you're going to do that, and this is for our audience, if you're going to do it, animated GIFs are the way to go. I'm just going to highly recommend, like Katie said, don't use them. Pictures are plenty good enough. But yeah, so if you're going to do animation and you think it's going to add a lot of value, animated GIFs are the way to go. But I would highly recommend not doing it.
Yeah. And they only really work if you're explaining it too. So when you're sending it to somebody, it's not good. One thing you said that I didn't see on a slide was your 20% growth month over month. That's so great. That's so huge. Put that huge on the slide and show those percentage growths, because your traction is awesome and you want to really highlight that. I mean, investors, that we love the word traction, and you can demonstrate that. So really, really plug that a lot. But yeah, I think, overall it's very good. I think that in terms of your delivery, I would look to really writing a script and sticking to it rather than it did seem like you're a good speaker and you have a natural flow of it, but I think you can tighten up some of your language and making it cleaner as you discuss each slide. So really trying to write out a specific script of the points you want to hit on each slide and going through it like that, I think would tighten it up a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, great points. And again, a lot of the stuff you have in here, I think moving some things around are going to be really helpful. You skipped the first slide, and I think the first slide talks about the problems that you have. You explained them very, very well. I think that, again, if you just showed a picture of even you or somebody in high heels carrying signs and then said, hey, look, here are 3 things that happened to me, that is just one beautiful moment that we get to just be part of that story. So tell your story. Hey, this is what I did. Here's the things that I learned, right? 1, it sucks. You're in heels, you're sweaty, whatever the thing is. It doesn't make a great appearance, So, and then what you needed, and then lead to the solution. And you did that a little bit, but what I would have loved to have seen is the pricing for those things. So you talked about it, but I didn't know how much is storage on a monthly basis, right? How much is printing? And you don't have to go through all the services per se, but you could just show that Olive Cart menu, and you could say and sometimes what you want to do, and if you have a bunch of options, is say the average ticket price is $25, so that when we go to your financial slide, we can see oh, you're doing, 8 transactions, and then you grew to 50, and then you're at 1,000. So we can kind of run into quick math that way.
Got it.
So so just get those when you get to the business model. So first, walk me through the solution. I want to see the thing, and it's really easy to understand what this is, but then bring me into the actual business model. We do this for $50, right? So easy things that they're all there. One thing I will say is make sure if you're going to do lots of text, try not to. Try sticking to the rule of about 22 size font or greater. It'll help eliminate some. Your slides are actually okay. I just noticed one slide that there was a lot of text on, and I just want to help you remove that because we're trying to read it and listen to it. So that's what's happening there. So once you get into your business model slide, I really feel like having the financial projections right after that. What you did was you stacked two line graphs on top of each other. And for us, as most business people are finance people. Right. And so when we see a chart like that, we don't usually look at it from a point of view of this is year 1, this is year 2, this is year 3, right? Usually it's a linear thing like this. And usually you're looking at like expenses, revenue, top, like you're kind of, if it's stacked, it means they're actually related. So what I would love to see is just like even that bar chart that you did for 5 years or 3 years or some projection thing, like give me 2021 because I think it's important, but you could like put that in one slide, but then give me the next couple years. You're making money and it's great. So just give me the next thing. And if you need to, we have a link for it, but check out Forecaster. It's great. A lot of people struggle with that part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So combine your revenue slides. Again, I think a lot of the pieces just could be combined. Same thing with your market slide. It's very clear on the market as far as realtors are going, but you could just put you have it in 2 slides. You could like say, look, we're starting in LA because I know this area. There's 202 people here. Then we're going to progress here. In the larger market, there are 93 billion realtors or whatever the numbers are, right? Yeah. Again, put them all in one space. This is my love of pitch decks, but I'm going to suggest combine your contact information and your ask into one slide and the milestones. So your last slide should be like, guys, I am crushing it. I've grew 20% month over month. I'm looking for X number of dollars. Here's what I'm doing. Call me if you want to do a deal. Like that should all be one slide, your last slide. I'm going to push that until I never see a contact me slide again. But that's a personal thing of mine. And then let me think of what else. Make sure your traction is pulled out also. So I want to like when you did a little bit of this, and this is actually a lot of times when people present like kind of a first time or early. I don't know how many times you've presented, but make sure you go in a linear path. So you're not jumping from solution. You tell me a little bit more, then you come back to the solution, and then you tell me about the business model and the finances. Just really like my book. I have a book. It's called the Pitch Deck book. And Katie, you probably know this too. There's a lot of ways that you can just go straight through the story without ever going backwards, unless it's really, really intentional. But that'll help. Like I said, you have all the pieces here. I think just reorganizing will keep the story going forward. And then I will say, so you're asking for 50K, and it doesn't seem like a lot of money, and it's really not. But at the same time, we're investing in the business long term, right? So if you're raising actual capital, you need to know, like you probably need way more than this. And I know you're just trying to get this thing going, but at the same time, like I would still throw in more capital here. Like you need 300K to bring on 3 full-time people to finish out this project. Because the 3-month runway isn't very long. Like we want to invest up until the next major milestones. Like you have laid out beautifully in here is, we're going to do this the beginning of Q1, this Q2. Well, I want to fund all that. I want to fund your next year and a half. So, and I know 50K isn't going to do that. So, and this goes to our viewers as well. And Katie, I'd love your opinion on this. Like, how many times have you seen people not ask for enough, or even ask for too much for this milestone? Like, what's your feedback on that?
Yeah, I totally agree, Tim. Because my thought was, you're only raising for 3 months. You're going to be raising another 50 grand. You're going to have to start. It could take you 3 months to raise the 50 grand, and then you're out there raising again and raising again and raising again. I totally agree. Go look to at least 12 months, maybe 18, so that it really gets you up and running. And when you're talking about the financials, like Forecaster, love Forecaster, by the way, look towards what's going to get you to profitability and know that in the back of your head. How many months do you need of runway before you can be profitable in running the business on your own? But yeah, and it is a fine line between people that have barely an idea and think they're going to need to raise $2 million to you who has a business that's up and running and you only want to raise 50,000. So it's there's some room in there for you to keep yourself going.
Totally agree. Other than that, I mean, really, I want to say great job. Like, this is exciting. You're making money, which is awesome. So that brings us down to the final question. And Katie, based off of what you heard today, would you move this company on to due diligence?
Yeah, I might. I think it's an interesting business. I think I would definitely take the second meeting. I'd want to look at the financials a little bit more. Like Tim said, I want to understand the where your customers are spending money. Is it the storage they really like? Is it the delivery portion that they like? You know, where are other opportunities? Could you be a sign maker someday? Or, you know, what are your flags different than other people's, that kind of stuff. So yes, I definitely would take that second meeting and look at it. And I definitely would advise to let's raise you a little bit more money to pay a couple more people to move you along faster.
Yep. And I'm going to 100% agree. I love this space. I like how clean the business model is. If it works, it's going to work. And yeah, like Katie said, if I move you on to due diligence, which I would totally do in this case, because I think the business model is really clean, I would want you to be raising more money. I don't want you to have to raise more. And obviously, we would have to look at the financials to understand if we got to. And one thing you might want to put in the deck is where your break even is, because it will dictate how much capital you should raise, or you know, like if you needed to hit 1 million or whatever, we'd have to figure that out. But I would love to know more. This is really what I'm trying to say. And so I would take you to another meeting, and I would love to see an updated deck. So normally what happens in a pitch process is you do a screening meeting of some sort. And let's say that's today. Then I would ask you to make some of these changes and then come back and present at our like general meeting or in front of the rest of the group, if it's an angel group. And then what we would be testing in this case, and this is for a larger audience as well, is coachability. And I think like you obviously kind of come off that way just naturally. And so it's just something that we would be looking for as investors as well. So Katie, any other advice?
I think I really like what you're doing. I think you're onto something here. I will just say my mother was a realtor when I was growing up, and she jammed a lot of signs into a lot of lawns, and I know how hard that is. So she will be very interested to hear about this business, I'm sure. So keep going what you're doing.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Sharon, thank you so much for presenting today. If you guys need help with the pitch deck, please reach out to Katie Dunn, myself. Check out the book, the Pitch Deck book. We just want to be resources for you guys. And if you need help with your finances, there's always links in the description on our YouTube channel. But check out Forecaster, because it really can get you going, and we get a great deal for that. So Jeff is one of our co-hosts, so we get some of the best deals on that. But again, thank you so much, Sharon, and we'll see you all next time.